Yo, hi and welcome, Kris Kylven, aka UX, subunit Network, the Dark Prince, and whatever. But first of all, for me, Kris, hi and welcome to Alpha's Crazy Sound Show on July the 15th in 2021.
Thank you. Nice to be here with you.
Yeah, for us, it's the premiere in the show. That's nice, and
great.
And we have good reasons for that, because there are new products out. The products are new, but the music and the remastering of music is from a longer time ago. So there are two not VAs, albums, you can say. One is called subunit Network, and the other one is by UX, Odyssey, it's called. Please, for the listeners, tell the different project content.
So subunit Network is my first really Goa, so-called Goa, the period we didn't know it called Goa because I started in 95. So, and it's really my early work from 95 until mid 96, made with few machines, really drum machine, one sampler, one bass station, or maybe some Roland MC202 or something like this. Very little gear I had for doing. So it was my really early stuff on that, and I did quite many vinyls through this project. But that was like my where I was started with with the trance. I mean the trance. Hybrid of a trance, let's say, but it was always mixed with a little bit of industrial or everything. But that's my really early work. So it's like 26 years. Yeah.
And compared to the UX?
UX is different because UX, what happened is this album is different because this is me making kind of new version, not too new, but kind of revamped versions for the live, more interesting, more entertaining versions of the songs that we had in '97, for Play Live. It's a live album actually, this Odyssey. But UX, it was more like Pete Martin from Satori Slide at the period, early Slide. We had enough to struggle with our little projects. I said, let's make something together. And then we made first track was Master of the Universe, which was quite serious one, the first one we did together. Yeah. We put all our gear together and bought some more, made quite a good studio, man. And the production is a lot better. It's like, we had a big console like Mackie 32, really huge mixer and a lot of gear. So of course the production is much better, and so that's the big difference between the two. It's like the other one is a bit more lo-fi because also it corresponds with the time because it was the early days, with machines, and UX is a bit more produced from 97, with all the gear and very good studio.
Yeah. From the terminology, like I would call it both kind of Goa trance, compared to others like Dark Side or High Tech or so.
Of course.
So Goa trance, because the word Goa by myself I don't like because it says nothing.
I don't like it either. I mean, I never liked
Goa
it.
Trance is okay, but I would say the subunit Network is Goa Trance, a bit industry influenced, and UX is nowadays we would say dark Goa Trance maybe. Yes. Okay,
actually, we were going to the Psy basically. I think we are, but many were responsible for that. I think Tim Schultz, a lot of people created the sound of the Psytrance. Yeah. But I think we were pushing it to the Psytrance basically because it's a lot more heavier and a lot harder.
Yeah.
And
let's focus now on the subunit Network. So what can you say about the tracks? It's called Goa Years, for example. What is the concept behind this product?
So it's just because it's the period of so-called when they put the label Goa on my music. I didn't like it at the time. Now I went, I made term with it. Okay, it's okay. No, after all these years. But it's just a period of time. That's why I wanted to call it the Goa Years, because even what I did after for Flying Rhino with Space Puppy, which was made at the UX studio, it's a lot harder, it's a lot darker, and it's different era. And the subunit network from 97. The 95, 96 was still influenced from all these parties and events, festivals, whatever, from that time, So it was really the Goa period, basically. That's why I call it Goa years.
Yeah.
So people can actually situate the thing in period of time,
And what kind of tracks you have chosen? What did you do with them? Did you remix them or remaster them?
No, I didn't remix it. Everything was kind of fishing for my old DAT tapes, trying to find the best recordings on DAT tapes, try to find the best masters. Because the first one, Cosma Shiva, was okay. It's not my best for me, not my best track, but a lot of people like it. I made it as a joke a bit. It was a bit very Goa-ish and Indian actually, because I use a lot of stuff from India, the vocals, everything made from India. Yeah, but that was just on vinyl basically. There was a compilation that put it out, but it was recorded from vinyl, so it never really came out as digital. So I don't know. And the others also, it's mainly vinyls or vinyl versions or alternate versions also from the vinyl versions. So it's kind of there are different mixes also. There's some live mixes also from that period that I managed to get on that. So that makes it really interesting because it's not only it's the stuff that was on vinyl is quite rare or difficult to get, but also these ones are even more rare because it's kind of a special version. So,
Okay.
So I wanted to create something like this. This is not like, it's exactly the same that was on. Make something a bit different. Yeah. But no remixing, because I wanted to keep it really pure. I know the purists into this music, they like to have it from that time. You cannot alter anything, So anyway, I would not be able to alter it because the sound was, I used an effect from the guitar or whatever, and it has this kind of reverb, If you try to put some new elements to it, you can hear it. You can hear the new elements will not fit because the engineering from now is a completely different thing now. So
for sure, yeah.
That was completely analog, it was like really analog.
Okay, that was the focus on the subunity network and the first part of the interview. We're coming back soon with the second part, focusing on the UX Odyssey. You, Kris, coming up now to the second part of our interview, and now we want to focus on the UX album called Odyssey. So what can you tell about that project and
so basically
the release of that?
That's a collection actually of recordings from many countries, or Israel, Greece, Slovenia, also some recording. Many countries where I played, I was recording on the best ones I selected to keep them. I just kept them for myself as archive, but there was such a demand for us to play live, and also to make the. So I didn't want to play exactly what we had in '97 with the first UX album. I wanted to make them a bit special, so upgraded them a bit more sci-fi, also a lot of more samples, a lot of more entertaining things on the top, and the sound also is much bigger. I did, and this was live drums, electronic drums, a lot of stuff. So basically, it's a collection of live recordings from many countries. Included one version of Master of the Universe live that was mixed by it was with the Front 242 guys. We were playing with them, and so it was kind of special also.
Yeah. And the tracks you have chosen are also live recordings, as you just told us. And did you work on them, like remastering them?
The mastering was done by Tim Shoot, the mastering of the live, but he went through a bit of a hell because when I was recording those, when I was playing live, I didn't check much of the labels or whatever. It was not really for release. It was just more for check what happened. Did I play right the drums? Did I do that right? So it was quite loud, some of the stuff, but he did a really good job at making everything sound great, so he really saved the whole situation. But the versions of the songs are really reworked in a way that it's still old school. Everything, the bass is really the same, but there's more elements on it. So the versions are much more futuristic, much more sci-fi, I think.
Okay, Tim Schultz for sure is a good guy, especially for that, and he's also with his
friend, and he has the same.
Yeah,
because he knows, he likes this stuff. He knows what I mean.
What was also for me in the 90s, in the mid and end 90s, one of the interesting guys like Xenomorph, for example, because in this Goa trance,
I really like things,
there was a lot of, let's say, pop trance. From my taste, and these guys were more on the direction. This feeling I know.
UX, when we did that famous launch party with System 7 and everything, there was a mix mag game to make a double page, and they called us at the end the Motorhead of Goa Trance.
Yeah,
because we were looking. I was looking really like I had long hair, not even dreadlocks, but. And with electronic drums, we had MIDI guitars. So it's like, wow, it's like a band, But I think the correct name for a band would be more Black Sabbath, because Black Sabbath was trying to fight against this flower power into the hippie period.
Right.
And I compare this Goa trance, fluffy Goa trance that you're talking about. I compare it to flower power from the 70s, like the really happy. And Black Sabbath were the ones trying to make something a bit more. So it's kind of what we've been trying to do, and what Tim Schultz was trying to do, and also Mark with Xenomorph. I think that's why we are connected with each other, because we wanted to make something a bit deeper, not necessarily darker, but.
It has also to do with the background. You are the background, Mark's background, so Xenomorph and Tim Schultz, for example, and me. We have very similar background to the 80s, like goth, dark wave, a bit
and
like
also industrial,
industrial, EBM industrial, very important point for me still.
Very important for me also.
So, but that leads me to another question, because we are now in 2021. Many years have passed by, and you also have recognized that new styles in the past 10-15 years have been created, like Twilight, Forest, Dark Psy, High Tech, and Psycho. What do you think about that? Because I'm as an old motherfucker, I'm with this modern Psy nowadays. So it's not a value; it's just a name, modern Psy. No? But I know where it's coming from, and your music and the others I just mentioned. For me, there's a logical development to that. Do you see?
I mean, it will have been. I think it would have been more logical for UX to move into that dark thing, but somehow, because of my experiences between the time I was not doing trance, I was much more with gothic rock bands. Like I work with 69 Eyes, and I came back more into the gothic period. So actually, much more of a romantic mixed with industrial than complete hardcore. Not hardcore, but like doom metal. I like this stuff. But for me, I compare the dark side into the kind of a doom metal of the trance, basically. But I didn't want to go that far, basically. So that's why I didn't go that far.
That's not needed. You have your own style, that's for sure. But do you see the development that you are, let's say, even guilty for that development?
Maybe
in the psytrance.
Well, but I think the guys have their own. I mean, I like Fagging's Reject or stuff like that. Guys, like this. I really like that kind of, and they come from metal and everything, So I see that there's also some guys that of course we are responsible. I think all of us. I think even Tim Schultz, whatever, all the guys are pushing it hard to make it, darker and heavier. I think contributed to the progression of that. But no, I think everybody is on their own. Now they created their own thing with the dark side. It's completely there. But it's true that I mean I could have if I would have continued full on doing the trance until now, I would probably have fallen into that because it's a logical progression.
Yeah.
You want to go to the, but I understand why.
Okay.
You've been doing like full on all the time. I mean, you've been following all the time. I had a big break, and working only with bands, so that's why I couldn't. I missed a lot of time from this.
Okay, yeah, good. I also was doing parallel a lot of stuff which has nothing to do with psytrance.
Yeah.
So, but coming from me from the piano, or means keyboards, or then later on computer, everything which is happening can be also Aphex Twin, you know what I mean, or Square Pusher,
I like it.
or Igor from France, for example. I like a lot. This is
of course.
Because these also have old ideas like the DIY coming from the punk rock, coming from the hardcore and the industrial. I find it inside. And even with my own project with that Alpha and Antagon, we have on every on the first 2 albums, we always get big criticism because the first one, too much industrial sounds. For me, it was, nice that you see it. Oh, nice, but I don't like it. I don't care. So when you say it's inside, we did it. You know what I mean?
We had the same problem at the beginning, even with UX or whatever, because guys were saying, it's too hard, it's too. And then after, it's like, it's really good. And then 10 years after, it's really, really, wow. They get it like later. They got it later. It was a bit too much maybe in advance for understanding of some people,
And that's interesting. I mean, that was the reason I was telling you that. So I expected the same at that time. No? So, but being innovative is a wish, but it's nice when this happens.
But many of my projects came like maybe 15 years after. Also, like Flay Fillers, the album came. We did it in 2001. It came out in 2015, I think. So you can imagine, it's like it's a long time, It's like because people were not ready yet. I mean, different project. Sometimes you think a bit too much ahead. Now I'm finally in sync. Even with the Dark Prince, I have techno bit EBM. I know the EBM is quite fashionable into techno now, and groove techno, whatever. So I'm using the fact that things are going in sync again with the 80s and everything. And I take my train and I go into,
By the way, this is the reason that at the end of the show of tonight, I have a preview of an album of a project which is called ICD-10. And ICD-10 is a kind of industrial techno. At the end of the show, I want to play 2-3 tracks of that for the listeners to show them the relations between the different styles.
Of course,
And just because you mentioned that with the Dark Prince, that's even the reason ICD-10 I will play at the end of the show. So I think we will be around musical. Okay, Kris, coming now to the end of the interview. The question is, what are your next plans? For example, production-wise or even live-wise, when we have some liberalization with the pandemic shit?
I mean, live, it's always, there's some live coming. Next year we have ZNA Boom with UX also. ZNA we have UX versus Slide, so, because I mean, it was from the same studio, so obviously it's the same family. So, and also I work on the Dark Prince thing. I did some remixes, some quite interesting stuff coming also from remixes. I did for a French project, I did a cover of very old school track called Relax Your Body with the bass line of KLF. And I did my own EBM, really quite banging remix. Also, I'm working on remix for Kick Bongo that is really sci-fi. But I have also a couple of singles that I'm working on for the Dark Prince also that are a bit techno EBM. And there's gonna be also my band working. And I'm working on also called Zero Down Apocalypse. And a lot of stuff going on basically. But I still work on play live, when I'm asked, I play with Subunit and UX, and I still play. I'm ready for anything. Everything is ready, so I just stop and play. Unfortunately, the last the Ultimate Experience album, the double one, didn't really have any success for the live shows. It's a pity because maybe it was a bit too modern. Again, one of those that gonna be understood maybe in 10 years.
Yeah.
For now, they are all stuck into the old stuff. So anyway, we'll see. I'm waiting, but I have a lot of projects yet that I want to do yet.
What is the best way or the best address to find out about your recent activities for the listeners?
I mean, the best is going to my own Facebook, which is Kris Kylven, basically. You know. Otherwise, I opened also my Bandcamp. At the moment, there is nothing. I'm gonna post some very special stuff on it, but I put all the releases linked to everything
to the label, like Konami now, no? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got on my Bandcamp. It's Kris Kylven. You know, Bandcamp Kris Kylven. Very simple, and you can find all the releases. And I will post some stuff that unreleased. Like I have a Suzy single, a remix single that I did that never came out, and I will put it out. So some really different stuff that I'm gonna put everything there basically.
Cool.
Everything that I think is interesting, some chill out, some whatever. Every project will be there. So even if I don't sell from my Bandcamp, it will be linked to the other Bandcamps. So
okay.
But at least you can find everything in one page.
That's good.
And my Facebook, it's just, you find me, my personal page is the one that works the best. Yeah. All the artist page on Facebook doesn't work very well, but my own personal page works the best for all the promo.
All right, cool. Do you have a last word? Do you have a last word for the listeners?
Yeah, I mean, I hope you enjoyed we've been working quite hard, especially on the subunity, to collect all the tracks. I mean, it has a good reviews. You know, I know people really like they are really happy with it, and the UX also seems to work pretty nice. But the UX, there's gonna be also a reissue of the first album. This is gonna come later. And also there's gonna be Element of Our Nature. That was another industrial site, early go up site. That we have a complete album that's coming on Konami next year.
Yes.
That's gonna be great also. But anyway, we will talk about that one probably when I see you again.
Yes.
For that, I think this is gonna really enjoy that. This is really pretty cool.
Cool, Kris. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, man.
That was Kris Kylven for Alpha's Crazy Sounds show on the 15th of July 2021. We were focused on two releases just happened on Konami Records. One is the subunit Nettwerk, the other one is the UX Odyssey. Thanks a lot. I wish you all the best for the future. And we talk soon.
And see you soon, hopefully also.
Yeah. Thanks a lot and bye-bye.
Take care, man. Thanks a lot. Take care.